Hey, so I just wanted to continue a little bit more, about these entities. Um, yeah, because they don't they just stop. it's just it's not human. I mean, like if you think about humans with compassion that won't sit around manipulating people to get what they want, it's very disturbing to realize you got these jinn who think that they're superior to you, that are just sitting around, and who knows if they're sitting or what. I know that they're stealing a lot of energy, and they use that energy to get what they want. Um, so they're definitely very active, and I mean sitting around as in constantly thinking of how to destroy us, and it starts with putting you under their control and taking away your ability to fight. And for me, it's almost a two-edged sword. Like, I know I need to stay healthy and eat vegetarian, and that's not a problem. But at the same time, I'm going to come under tremendous attack at the same time. Um, and that's maybe how you know you're doing things right. Um, but at the same time, I've also noticed that they are just obnoxious. They are obnoxiously, um, participating in my life, and and that can go for. I mean, and I see from their perspective, I get it. One of the control mechanisms that they use is to um, put all sorts of nasty things into the environment, like what they put in food. Like if you go and hey, I used to be one of those people too. Um, Go and get myself a Big Mac or a nice juicy freaking burger and really enjoy myself. Um, they really had an issue with it when I decided to make myself a veggie burger because it has egg whites in it. Something about it that they didn't like. Maybe they didn't like that you can still make a delicious burger, but it can be vegetarian. And by no means am I perfect, um, but somehow they were trying to convince me to never eat anything with egg in it, or egg yolk. And I'm just like, I'll take the hit, you know. Sorry, I'm gonna go get my Boca burger. All right. Um, it's pretty much vegetarian to me, and if they were trying to manipulate me in some way to just completely, and I get it, they want me to be completely um, fresh food, and I get that, but that also sounds to me like an Ethan type of controlling type of thing, like he wrote the program, and I know him, and what he's like. So I'm gonna still be a free will type individual, and stay away from those type of negative entities. Oh, the crows are here. So they're probably going to enact some type of operation at some point today. Um, they're increasing in number. And I'm not saying there ain't no crows in the world, please. But if you've had my experience where you've seen people actually controlling them and them, doing nasty things to you, and then following you everywhere, then you realize that there's some really nasty things that go bump in the night, and it's not really as innocent as it looks. Just like how I mentioned the other day, you saw the guy over here fishing. Um, you know, I looked in here, ain't no fish in here. And then he sat down, and I mean, like, there's so many places. The beach is literally 10 minutes away, less than that, down the street that way. A big old beach, and he's sitting over here fishing. And as you can see, there's like a little pond, there's no fish in the water. If there is, there's certainly not one big enough for you to be fishing at. So he's sitting here fishing and then popping off fireworks. I mean, you know, it's to me, it's like, are there children running this show? Like, who is running the show here? Like, I get it. I get what they're doing, but like at some like it also seems extremely childish at the same time. It's like almost like they haven't gotten past being like 11 or 12. To me, that's what it seems like. But they do some very adult things. Like they deal with some very adult things, but at the same time, like who would give the order to bring a fishing rod? And you know, it also seems like some of those false flags. Okay, where if you see some of the video of it, you see the people like just really just smiling on camera when like what in Orlando, like there's video of like some of the victims being impersonated. Like one person who actually knew one of the victims called their hospital room and was like, "Hi, do you remember me in high school?" Blah 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 blah. The guy had no clue who he was. And I mean, if you've had a good friend in high school, you probably remember them unless you've been drugged up somehow. Didn't remember anyone from high school, and then he started going over some other facts like, "Hey, I thought you got shot in your hand, but I see on you said you got shot 6 times, but you know, on video you said you only got shot 3 times and in your hand, but there's no gunshot wounds." And I looked at some of these videos where where this kid said he got shot in his hand, right? And you look at his hands, and it shows him on the video, no gunshot wounds, and but a wound on his abdomen area, and then them hugging police officers and all this other stuff. I mean, basically crisis actors. And then the kid just hung up on the guy after he said. And personally, I know what they're talking about. I mean, it's really kind of funny because if you've been in it, if you have been a part of this beast system, you realize that they do so many messed up things. It's really difficult to get it perfect all over the time, all the time. So you laugh at their imperfections because they sit around thinking that they're perfect, though, or that they're good enough to fool everybody. And yeah, in a sense they are, because they put everyone under my control, and you know, they enact these things like putting stuff in your food, chemicals in your food that you know, you've heard of GMOs. Why? Like I read an article or a couple of comments by some people saying, well, GMOs were made specifically for humans to consume, so what's the big deal? You know, I'm pretty sure the foods have been around on this planet long before anyone did some GMO. All right. I mean, what was wrong with the actual foods that were here? That's the real question. That have been sustaining life on this planet for millions of years. Many different crops, okay? Fruits, vegetables, rice, everything. What in the world was the problem? Exactly. Who knows? I know. Okay? They need to be able to manipulate people even more. They need to put more chemicals and nanotechnology and more harmful things in to keep your nutrition down, so that you don't get smart enough to figure out their mind control. And these beings are very smart, and they're sitting around conspiring how to make you dumb and how to make you complacent. And this is what we're freaking dealing with on a daily basis. And you know, when they do their operations like the one they just did to me about 30 minutes ago, where they kind of try to do a small fear-based, like spiritual type of thing. And it might have been twofold. It might have been a spiritual thing while they were watching and tried to control. I don't know. The point is that they started up immediately when it happened with trying to force me to think a certain way and do a certain thing. And then it goes on and on. So, you know, I'm just trying to help our people out. I'm trying to be a better person, a good person here. And it's fairly difficult. It's fairly difficult because, for example, if I drink any wine, they set up operations to come and steal my soul energy. Oh my gosh, there actually are fish inside of here. Look at that. That duck is trying to eat a fish. Well, excuse me. I still think it's kind of weird. And I was here for about an hour and a half with him. He ain't catching no fish. You know. So, um, anyway, I'm not saying that they ain't no fish in here no more, but I also know that they do things on purpose, and they try to hide in plain sight. Like, look at this guy. He's coming out of nowhere. He probably will do something weird. Um, we're dealing with an enemy that knows us, okay, and knows the environment, and is really bootleg. Really is kind of like a bootleg type person. I knew there'd be someone. I mean, the crows were squealing, so I knew that this would be someone that pops up. At least I got him on camera. Um, we'll see what they're up to. Um, and to me it's sad because, one of my issues is that I want to kind of, try to help people and, help people. Oh, look, now he's standing right in front of me. Right in front. I would like to try to help people, but how do you know who, I mean, you can't even help nobody. Um, One of the ways that, how I came out of that trance, how I knew that they were messing with me, was because um, they asked a question about forgiveness or something, and I said, basically, after what I've learned, that there is no reason why I should just give of my soul and my spirit and my energy to entities that just want to take, and they've taken so much from me, and I got a sting on my foot, and that's usually a nice sign that it's them, the parasitic entities, being obnoxious. And so he might have taken something from me too. Who knows? Um, they usually will come right in front of me in a direct line of sight, and I don't know if it's because they have something that can steal, or maybe they're putting something back. It's one of those two. Um, anyway, so I told them that, I believe in love and everything, but I also don't believe that I should be abused. Um, and I got stung, and I said, hey, the reality, a good test of faith would be to give back something, apologize for something, do something positive instead of taking. And then you don't hear nothing. You won't hear another peep until they figure out another way to manipulate. But that's, like, for me, that's the best. Like, for everything that you've taken, do something and give back. Give back some of the things that you've taken from me. Give back in some way. Give back to the people that you've taken from, that you've stolen from. You don't want to do that, though. And so that's another way for me and for others to have discernment when you're dealing with some of these negative entities, because they don't want to give back. They want to figure out more and more ways to take from you and to make you subservient to them, because they don't think like us. They don't think like someone who has empathy and love. They want to take advantage of someone who has empathy and love. All right? And at some point you got to put your foot down. Yeah, he took something. He came over and took something. And so you're dealing with these crazy creatures that exist off of energy. They don't exist off of just eating. They need your energy. And they will steal it. And we got to figure out ways to protect ourselves. Anyway, peace out, fam.